You just got fired today. Time to brush up the resume. Let's get fired. Hell yeah. Welcome to Let's Get Fired. I'm your out of work host, Alex Shklar. Today we have with us Aditya Mayya. He's a New York City comedian, and I believe you're from Canada and also used to work as a store clerk.
I am from Canada, yeah. Store clerk, no. I used to work as an assistant to a photographer in the Diamond District.
Oh, this is straight off your Facebook. Former store clerk.
Oh, no, my bio is another grocery clerk gone bad, which is the quote from like a movie from the 30s about some guy who really wants to be a celebrity. And I'm like, this is my comedy Instagram account. That seems appropriate to be my bio.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah. It's only for me. As all of my comedy has always been described as just for me. I think that is also the case for the descriptors of me as well.
No, totally fine. It is funny how much of comedy like we think people understand, and like it's all like inside baseball with ourselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah, inside baseball with yourself is a perfect way to describe it, because there's no. I'm always like, well, it makes me laugh, and they're like, that's cool. Why are you saying this to a crowd then?
Yeah,
you know,
20,000 people here. It's. Well, 20,000, not sure. 20,000.
20,000 people that could potentially click on your reel that don't.
You also don't have to speak super perfectly to the mic. Maybe I'm being a professional.
Slur perfectly, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, I know some people, like, they lean into it because like, they think it's not going to pick up. Everything's going to pick up. We're in a somewhat sound isolated place.
Well, I like all of the padding you have.
I know, it's so ghetto. I got it all off Timo.
What did you do in this room before you had a podcast?
Nothing. I moved in with the intention of like using one of these rooms as a podcast studio / workout thing. So I have like the dumbbells under here.
Podcast / workout is fun.
Yeah. So like,
you want to be like a gym influencer?
Nah, I just like don't want to go to the gym. So I'm like, you know what? If I'm gonna work out, it's gonna be somewhere in my house. And also, this is like one of those like aspirational apartments where I'm like, you know, one day I'm gonna have a wife and we're gonna have an extra room. So,
right.
Like,
and then she can podcast with me.
That's true. That's the only
reason. That's a sign of a good relationship.
Only reason to get married is just to have a podcast co-host.
Oh yeah. I mean, you see how all of these successful ones, they all break up eventually. I guess so do marriages, right? What do you think has a higher breakup rate? Is the average marriage in America or the average podcast host?
Well, I think we haven't gone to like the full cycle of like podcast ending, whereas we've seen
all marriages end. Yeah,
exactly. Because like, we've been married for a while, and podcasts are relatively new.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people out there podcasting thinking that that's like their forever life now.
It might be. I mean, the thing is, like, even if no one ever listens to it, it's a low enough like setup where you could just do it every day for your whole life. You know,
you probably would go insane. Because like I'm thinking like in stand-up, you know, like the guy who like does so much stand-up he loses touch with reality. I think podcasting might be the same thing. It's like, I
think it's worse probably because you could just do it alone. Stand-up at least it forces you to go out and interact with the world to some extent.
The solo podcasting guys, I think they definitely need to have a good therapist.
Oh well, I mean, and I'm sure they're also the ones who are like, well, my audience, my art is my therapy, which is never smart.
Well, even worse is the live bloggers who are just everywhere in the world, just like recording.
Yeah.
And like they're talking to a phone, and like I saw it in real life, and I'm like, I hope you feel shame, because like there's like a guy going to Dunkin' Donuts like, we're about to try out the new pumpkin spice.
Have you ever had anyone do that on the subway? I heard someone do that in. Everyone else on the subway like clocked what was happening, like looked at each other, and we were like, we just don't like just stop, like we froze as if it was like an escaped animal at the zoo or something. We're like, just let him finish his thing and get out of here and don't hurt us.
Because somebody who looks mentally ill.
Yeah, who's talking into their phone for an audience of like probably 3 people, you know.
Instagram Live.
Yeah. My whole thing with that is like, honestly, at the end of the day, do whatever you want, because you know I do stand up, you do stand up. It's justifiably mocked by a lot of people as an art form, but it's what I love, right? So who cares? And if you love this, that's fine. But it's just one of those things I can't wrap my mind around, where it's like content creation in that way.
Yeah.
Like there's no craft to it. So like you just are like pumping out all this content with nothing behind it, and then everyone else thinks you're a loser. Like, what? In my mind, I'm like, what do you gain from this?
Well, you want to feel like a reality TV star. My biggest gripe with it. It's not that like you're not hurting anybody, yes, but you are inconveniencing people. So like you're in a restaurant, it's like, all right, this needs to be taken, the photo needs to be perfectly taken, and like I'm gonna throw a tantrum if like something's slightly off on my plate, even though like this was intended to be eaten, not like recorded on video.
Right. And being at a restaurant and then seeing the guy in front of you ordering with like his ring light and his camera and his phone out, and then this is what I got, and you're like, dude, no one cares, please let me get my food, like this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think you know what the big issue is. We made it too easy to be your own like production crew.
Yeah.
Because before, like, even if you want to take a photo of somebody, it's like, damn, we gotta get like a person and be like, hey, can you take a picture of us? Now, like, we feel some shame.
Right, yeah, because you have to get other people to do it, whereas in this case, it's just you. Maybe there should be a thing where it's like, hey, if you use your phone to record the Chipotle employee making your burrito, you are going to get kicked out. Or you're getting charged, like, double or something.
They do that in some gyms now, where, like, the influencers are like, hey, this is a gym. Like, you can't, like, take up an entire space and then just be like, hey, you can't walk in the area because it's gonna ruin my shots. Like people are working out, like they're not like part of your little reality TV show.
Yeah, I mean, as they should. It's ridiculous to assume otherwise in public spaces.
Have you ever seen those girls who like catch guys like looking? They like set
at a gym or
okay.
And
it's like just a guy who's just like waiting for a machine, so he's like glancing over, and she's like, "Oh, are you staring at my ass?" He's like, "No, I just want that plate." It's like, "Oh, you were staring." And it's like. Also, you're wearing like tiny little booty shorts and like one of those like bras. It's like, even if he was staring, like you kind of wanted him to.
Sure. I mean, it's an interesting like genre of video to proliferate in general because it's either wish fulfillment for women or people who want to get leered at, or it's like someone who like wants to buy into like hatred of men, which, you know what, fair enough, fine, but also being the woman in that scenario, like the content creator themselves, just really feels like you're like playing into some pretty dangerous territory, because I'm sure you're gonna, especially at a gym, you're gonna find some guys who are not gonna take too kindly to being accused of that, but are also definitely gonna have anger issues.
Oh, and steroids.
And know that your car is right there and could find you if they wanted to.
That is actually a good point. Just starting beefs in a place where everybody knows where you're gonna be on a Tuesday at 5.
Yeah.
It's like, you're like, don't shit where you eat. But I think it's a lot of like confirmation bias that we're trying to do. It's like the audience of like people who wanna like think something is already there. It's like, let me show them proof of that, like they're right.
Yeah. And I think that is the way that you build an audience these days, right? Is because it's so like ephemeral, like the 3-second videos. And so if you see a thing that's like, guy caught like staring at me or something, and it like buys into, or it allows you to buy into something you already want to believe in, you're more likely to watch it the whole way through.
Do you think we'll ever get through to the other side where people are just like so annoyed by it, they're like, I'm not gonna watch all this clickbait anymore, I'm tired of it?
I feel like more or less everyone does have that belief. It's just that it's the easiest thing to resort to when you are bored or tired or feeling bad or something, because it's like you just open your phone. I mean, I'm not someone who really using social media sincerely is insane to me, but like I'll go on YouTube to watch videos from people, and sometimes you'll open it and it automatically opens to the shorts tab, and it'll just, and like I'm not interested in that, but more power to you if you are, but like it's so easy to see how you could just get sucked in and just spend hours just looking at that. You fall into the trap, and even when you're aware, like this is just clickbait, and this is, and it's so good at it too. At this,
they're
point.
Really good at like making you just satisfied enough. You're like, I'm not gonna turn this off, but like unsatisfied. And it's like, let me see another one.
Yeah, and when you have nothing else to do as well, like it's just you just keep going.
Yep. Yeah, you're on the toilet for 30 minutes now.
Yeah,
and it's like, why am I'm not even shitting anymore.
No. I'm just giving myself a rash.
Yeah. Or hemorrhoids.
Yeah, well, that might happen either way.
I have a bit of a boring opening question, but I do like to ask it so people get an idea of who you are from an employment standpoint. It's going to feel like a little bit like an interview, but like, you could go take it in any direction.
Yeah.
So the viewer understands how employable you are. Tell me where you went to school, like college, what you studied, and like what were your intentions for what you're going to do out of college?
Yeah, well, so I am very unique in that I went to film school at NYU, which, nobody else did that in the history of time.
Did you meet Michael there?
I did, yeah. We met when we were 18.
Nice.
Yeah. Michael actually, who I think has done this podcast, right?
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
He's offered to do it, but only if he can wear a mask. And I'm like, what's going on? What are you hiding from?
That's okay. Well, we can unpack that later. But, yeah, so we met there, and he actually was a big influence in me having the courage to kind of pursue stand-up. And so did film at NYU, and then was looking for film-related jobs post-grad, while also putting all of my creative time and free time into pursuing stand-up, alongside like some kind of holistic like writing and directing and stuff.
So you did the film school for undergrad?
I did the undergrad, yeah.
All right, so you're like 21, 22 when you get out?
Yes. Okay. In the middle of the worst pandemic that the world has seen in a century.
Oh, you're younger. All right, so like...
2020 is when I graduated. I graduated in May 2020.
So you're 21, so you're 28 now?
27.
27?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a young boy.
How old are you?
I'm 36.
Oh, okay. You don't look that old. I feel like I've known you for a while, though, you know, which is one of the... I've seen you around, certainly.
I am a child at heart. I think, like, with stand-up, it's also, like, unless someone, like, looks very young or looks very old, you can be like, oh, we're all the same age.
It's funny how sometimes you'll see someone on stage, and I did stand-up in college, so I was certainly that person, but I'll see someone now, like, at a mic, and I'm like, he's doing really well, or whatever, and then he'll mention it's like, yeah, I had finals or something, and I'm like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? You can do that still? And like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, there's this one guy who just, like, is really in it, and I'm like, oh, this guy's been doing it for like a decade, and I'm like, oh, you just graduated college.
Yeah. But you know, it's good. I'm glad when people start young, because I'm like, yeah, just get as much time as you can in before it either doesn't happen or happens for you, because at least then you have like this space to pursue other opportunities if you.
Fair enough. You have time to like mess up. All right. So you went to film school at NYU. So you moved from Canada, right? Canada, right?
Yeah, moved from Toronto to New York for school.
Nice. For college?
For college, yeah.
Oh, so you're like actually Canadian.
Yeah, fully Canadian.
But you don't have like an accent or anything.
Well, but I've been here for like 10 years now, and I do think when I first moved here I had one. I think when I'm drunk it comes out a bit more, but certainly like what it actually is that both countries think I speak wrong. Like both groups of people are like, you are not doing this correctly.
But you're also Indian, so I'm just like, I expect you to have an Indian accent. I'm like, oh, he doesn't have an Indian accent. What a perfect native speaker.
Right. Well, you expect anyone with different skin color to speak like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have an accent, you have to have an accent that matches your skin. So like, don't confuse me. Don't be like a guy like a.
How do you feel about Chinese people born and raised in Australia?
It's weird. Like, I even feel weird when like black guys have British accents. I'm like, I get that like there's like a lot of people in UK who are black, but I'm like, it's just odd. Like,
I feel that way about anyone with a British accent. I'm like, this isn't real. You're making this up, you know?
Oh yeah, you're just trying to sound posh.
Yeah, not even sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, this is a fake thing. I can tell that you're putting it on. They make fun of like Americans or whomever doing like bad British accents. I'm like, no, but that's what you sound like. Like, it sounds like a fake person doing this.
Yeah, but like it also depends on like which part of the UK. Apparently, some of them are like a very, very pronounced, and some of them are kind of a little more mild. I did like I worked at some company in that had like a headquarters in UK. The weirdest thing is when you see like white trash with the British accent.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, this guy is like so proper, and then he's got like neck tattoos and like 20 disgusting little kids.
But even then, there's I think like a shade of where you're like, oh, this is more, I don't know. I mean, you know, Cockney or something. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretending I know what the different types of British accents are. But
apparently, the Liverpool one, the Scouser accent, that's the one that's like supposed to be like the very trashy one.
Yeah,
I was there, and this guy's like, "Hey, this girl is from Liverpool. Watch your wallet around her."
Don't you love learning about like the micro racism in other parts of the world?
We need it.
Yeah, well, it's funny because it's like obviously it exists. We have stereotypes of like different states, but you never think about that about other countries because they're all like homogenized in your mind as one place. But you go there and they're like, oh, this group of people that are like us and has the same passport suck, and you're like, tell me more.
I think of India a lot with that because they got national level of like racism where it's like, all right, we're gonna give everybody with like that caste like this name.
Specific well, I mean, there was a whole thing called the untouchables where you weren't even allowed to go near them. It's a funny thing where at least in their case, and I guess you could say it's similar to America in terms of like being a group of states that don't necessarily have much in common, but it's, you know, the people forced together by colonialism, and now there's an attempt at doing especially these days, like a nationalistic like identity. But in the same way, I also think it's fun. People like having really specific identities, and a large part of that is hating people that don't have your specific identity. It's like state pride, you know? It's like, oh, or not even that. It's like, I'm in Manhattan and people from Brooklyn are trash. Yeah, or like I'm in Bay Ridge and people from fucking Flatbush are trash. You
straight
know?
Up tribalism. Yeah. Like, and like if you go to like somewhere in the Midwest, it's like it'll be the same exact people, but they'll root for two different teams.
Right.
And they're like, fuck those guys, like rooting for this college team. And they're rooting for a college football team.
A college football team where nothing matters. There's no stakes to it. And they're on like other sides of it. You could drive to the other campus in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and all the kids playing on the both the teams, they were like kind of like a toss up between them. Like, oh, I could go.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, this is the place that gave me slightly more in scholarship money.
Yeah,
so that's
like my dad went there. Yeah, it's like how I would never be a Sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of BS. Do your parents ever tell you about like did they ever live in India?
They did, yeah. Both of them born and raised there. My dad moved to Florida when he was late teens, early 20s, and then lived there for a long time before moving to Toronto, and then met my mom during, and then and then I was born and raised in Canada. So they'll talk about it. They're from different parts of India. I don't think either of them, this is maybe putting words in their mouth, but I don't think either of them are huge fans of the country, and we're happy to, like, I do think there's some immigrants who are like, well, we came here to get a better life, but in an ideal world, we would have been able to stay, you know? I think both of them were like, no, we're happier here. Like, we're glad we were able to find a different place to live in.
I think it's the intelligent mindset of like, you're not tied to where you were born, and like you probably should try to like move wherever is better. But
yeah, and even like better is obviously subjective to some extent. I mean, financial opportunities is one thing, but like for me, I'm like, yeah, I wanted to live I'm from Canada. I could have lived there and done whatever I wanted there, but like I wanted to live in New York. I wanted to live here from a really young age. So you know, I obviously had the opportunity and privilege to, but it was never a thing of like, well, you have to stay in the place you're from because it's.
I have a Canada specific question because I heard that like for stand-up specifically, they're kind of anal about certain topics. Is it true that like if you like make fun of like the disabled or something, or like criticize maybe not criticize the government, but like there's certain like lines you can't cross even if you are performing?
I don't know. I mean, so I started doing stand-up in New York, and when I go back home, I'll do stand-up there, which is in the Toronto scene, and it's the biggest scene in Canada, obviously, because it's the biggest city, but it's still so small compared to New York. So I can only speak to what I've seen there. And I will say it's basically more or less similar to New York in that there's specific pockets where people are more or less accepting of certain material, you know, and there are like I'm part of like Instagram and Facebook groups for Toronto open mics and Toronto shows, and there's like one guy who loves posting there about like, you know, he's like trashing on woke people, like that's his whole brand, and is like, but is also like petitioning like this one club owner to let him back in because he was banned, and it's like, I'm pretty sure I can tell why you were banned based off of everything you're doing here. So I mean people are all the same, you know, like I don't think you can paint one brush in terms of there's some things you can't say, but
the government ever get involved? Because I read the story where like some guy was like making fun of like some like severely disabled like famous kid, and they're like, oh, you're bullying him so hard, this is like now gonna be like $100,000 fine.
That's interesting. The story sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't know it specifically, so I can't speak to it. But I do think, yeah, in terms of the government being able to step in for specific forms of like hate speech, or what they determine to be hate speech or bullying or whatever, they do have more leeway there than ostensibly America does with the First Amendment. But also, you know, we've seen in recent months and, you know, the past couple of years how flexible that is when there's a government that wants to punish people for saying what they want. So
that's true. I guess the illusion of free speech is kind of nice here.
Sure. Yeah. I like at least in one direction.
Yeah. I like the idea of like thinking that like I could get away with anything. In worst case scenario, I get like I don't know, like doxxed and fired from my job.
Right. Yeah. It's okay because then you can start an unemployed podcast.
Exactly. And honestly, I think it was a blessing in disguise because now I could trash all. I didn't mention that I worked at the New York Times until I got fired from there. I'm just like,
sure, yeah.
I'm like, I don't want anybody knowing this. It's like now my LinkedIn. I'm like, I never wore any of the clothes I got for free.
Right.
I'm like, I don't want anybody like knowing because like there are psychos doing comedy and they're just like out of spite they could be like, oh, did you know that like this guy works here and he said this.
It's also like it's reasonable to want to be private about certain things upon performing, you know, like it's about your stand-up and your set rather than who you are necessarily.
Oh, 100%. But there's also the idea of like having to hide it. It's like that's the annoying part. It's like that a company could in theory have like a legal course of action of like, hey, technically like you're allowed to say it, but like we just don't like it, so you're fired.
Right, and that is unfortunate, especially when it's, you know, a journalism website or publication who would hope to pride itself on freedom of speech and freedom of the press. But I guess it also depends on specifically what you were saying. Were you fired for comedy?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. Yeah. It's fired for pure incompetence.
Oh, okay. How long were you there for?
A little over 2 years.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty good stint.
Were you a writer or what were you doing?
No. I was doing SEO, so search engine optimization.
Okay.
You would know about that, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm trying to be as racist as possible. It's like India, SEO, but yeah, like it's like the trying to make things rank on Google.
Yeah.
So like I was working specifically on the athletics, so trying to make the sports stuff come up in search engines better. But yeah, all right. So getting back to the film school and post grad. So you're in a pandemic now. Do you get a job?
Yeah, my first job is what I mentioned up top. I worked for a jewelry photographer in the Diamond District. I was his assistant, and I got it from just lying because he was like, "You went to film school, so that means you know cameras and Photoshop and stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, of course," because I needed a job. Because also to add further information, I was here on a student visa, which you are allowed to have 90 days total unemployment, and I was at like 87 because no one is hiring anything, right? So I sent in my application, and he is like, "Okay, cool, and you know how to do all this stuff, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course, yeah, definitely."
It's a great interview.
Yeah. And he was like, "Okay, cool. Like, you seem normal. Like, show up tomorrow, and then we'll just get it started." And so I did. And initially, it was really simple because it was just assistant stuff. So he was like, "Go get us lunch. Like, can you pay these people? Like, pick some stuff up." Because he was still building up his studio because he bought it really cheap when rent prices cratered during COVID. And so I was like, "Yeah, of course." And that was really simple. I could figure that out really easily. And then it started turning into a thing where he was like, "Okay, so we're taking these pictures and I need you to do like all these touch-ups on these photos, and it's easy, you know how to do it, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for sure." And he would like just give it to me, and I would like just look at it and just not even know what like button to click. Like just looking, I was like, is it the rope one? Is it the crop? Like I don't even know what he wants from me. So I would spend like a whole day basically just pretending to do this and then hand it back to him, and he was like, and I always make sure to hand it to him at the end of the day when everyone was like, when I was leaving, so he wouldn't have time to like look at it and be like, "Well, no, you should, you know, do this." But that it was a bad system because then I would come back the next day and he'd be like, "Okay, so we got to figure out what any of this is." And I was like, yeah. And then he like would get an old employee of his to come in and train me, and it was still just like something I couldn't wrap my head around. And and another important thing was he was a huge alcoholic, and so
what kind of guy is this, like nationality or like ethnicity wise?
He was a Jewish guy from Westchester.
Yeah, because you said Diamond District, and I immediately assumed it was a Jewish guy.
Yeah, I mean, he was not in the actual diamond, the jewelry trading part of it. He was just taking pictures and stuff. But yeah, the building was all Diamond District people, and like, you know, it was funny because, you know, Uncut Gems had come out maybe a year or two before I took that job. Yeah. And I was like, oh, they were like underplaying how crazy this spot is, you know? Like it was also like peak COVID, so obviously a lot more crime and just everything was happening. But like I would walk in every day and he would just go, "Yeah, there was a shooting at like the building yesterday." And I'm like, are you going to give me a gun? Like, what do you want me to do with that information? I can't help if something happens here.
Just keep an eye out.
Yeah. He would like, and you would realize how expensive all these stuff were because like they're this big. They're rings or earrings or something. And he would like hand them to me and be like, bag them up. And he'd just hand me all these bags. And I'd be like, I'm holding literally $100,000 worth of like jewelry right now. Like, it's insane. Because I would see the price tags too. I would know how much they cost. I'd be like, if I just like lose this, it's not only my job, it's like this entire business is gone, you know, because I don't think he had insurance at that point. I was a process of like trying to
alcoholism and jewelry business. That's a bad mix.
Yeah, because he would sometimes drive in, but more often than not, he would take the train. He would drive in and then take the train back up to Westchester because he would get too hammered at night. And he would sometimes offer me some. He was like, do you drink? And I was like, of course I fucking drink, you know? I'm 21 years old. And so he would give me like like he loved mezcal, he loved like white wine, and he would like open these bottles of wine at lunch, and then at the end of the day on like a Friday he'd be like, oh well, if I put this away it'll go bad, so do you just want the rest of it? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll take the rest of the bottle of wine, you know, like what am I gonna do? And so that was fun, but also I was like drinking, but then also being fully aware that I had no idea what I was doing, and I wasn't hiding it well, you know.
Yeah.
And so I had that job for a few months, and then
did you feel like you were like on borrowed time the whole time?
Because then I would ask like my friends. I was like, okay, look, I need this job, so let me ask my friends who I think know Photoshop to teach me.
Photoshop is so hard.
It's so hard, but and then also my friends who I thought knew it would teach me, and they were like, look, I mean, you can do this, and I was like, okay, and they would all say like, look, no one is looking at it this hard. It's fine. You can like be quick with it. And then his whole thing was like, we need the lines to be perfect, you know, like everyone is looking at this really intensely because they're so small and they're like really in-depth pictures. So the whole mindset that I guess film people or like marketing people have for Photoshop was completely antithetical to what the jewelry photographers needed. So they couldn't even teach me well, and I probably wouldn't have picked it up that easily anyways. But I was trying, and it just wasn't work. Like the whole time I was like, this is not going to work out.
You don't pick up Photoshop on the fly. I have a designer friend, and like his first job, he said he'd spend like entire days trying to learn how to like retouch something.
Yeah.
And he'd like just be crying, be like late at night, it's like, I don't know how to do this. And he had like a design background.
Yeah.
So he knew visually what he was trying to accomplish, but like the buttons there. The buttons are bad. The buttons are like they're not like intuitive all the time, so it could be difficult. So you got fired from that?
I did get fired from that, yeah. Yeah.
How did it happen? That's actually, I'm kind of curious what an alcoholic boss would do to fire somebody.
He basically, so the actual firing was he just sent me an email on a Friday. And I remember my lease was up and I was going to see apartments with my roommates that like when I got back from work, and I got that email on the subway ride to whatever apartment we were seeing of him being like, yeah, I don't want you to come, you know. And I was like, okay, so then we're just like there, and I'm like just pretending that I have a job or something, you know. But yeah, no, I know it was because I remember specifically thinking like, oh, this is. I think I didn't want to admit it to myself, but I knew that it was going to be like the end where it was like a Friday afternoon, like 3 or 4, not the end of the day. And I was like trying to touch some stuff up, and he was like, there were some builders there or something, and he was looking at the what I was doing, and I was like, is this good? And he was like looking at it, and he was like, why don't you take the rest of the day off? And I was like, oh cool, long weekend. And as I'm leaving, I'm like, oh, this is the end. He's not even trying to teach me anymore, you know.
When they're no longer frustrated, they're just like, all right, we're gonna. This is a problem that's like gonna come to its conclusion. Yeah.
Try not to get fired from my current job, which will end eventually.
Are you like on the clock right now?
No.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
What's your current job right now?
I work for a documentary company that will be shutting down at the end of the year.
Oh.
Yeah. So
you have the Midas touch with like jobs.
Yeah. But I mean, who doesn't these days, you know?
Have you ever had like a more of a stable like 9 to 5? Has it always been like a thing where like I'm like the guy retouching photos, or I'm like the guy like editing film?
I mean, the job I'm currently at is a stable. I've been there for 5 years now.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And they've just not been particularly successful. And so you know, like we got like 6 years or so out of it.
It's not bad.
But and now they're ending. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where you realize, like, yeah, it's similar to like the photography job where you were like, oh, I did. At a certain point, you're aware that this isn't going well, and in this case, it was like I don't think necessarily on my end. It was just like the company in general wasn't selling stuff.
Yep.
But you still pick up on that, you know, and then you're like, well, at a certain point, they're not going to be able to continue to pay me a salary.
Yeah, where's the money coming from?
Yeah, and you're like, oh, nowhere. Okay, cool.
You start seeing people getting let go, and like they're like, that guy actually was kind of good at his job.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So what is your role right now? What do you do?
We're in development there, so it's basically fleshing out ideas and submitted materials to get to a point where we can pitch them to like streamers and distributors and stuff, and then ideas that we have, projects that we have in development, just working on those materials and, you know, trying to actively get contacts and meet people and like building them out so that we can actually make a documentary out of it.
Are you like an outreach person, kind of?
It's like a bunch of things. So that's part of it, but then also like writing, like treatments for it, and then also like coordinating meetings and editing stuff. Like I was editing earlier today. Like, so it's very, I mean, it's not a large company, so.
So it's like pitch decks and stuff?
Pitch decks as well, yeah.
Huh, jack of all trades. But are you filming anything anymore?
For like independently or for work?
For the work.
For work sometimes, yeah. We're kind of in production on one thing, but I think once that's over, it's, you know, it's done.
Does it help a lot that you know how to, like, you went to film school, that can you like record like sketches better and stuff?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, just from the standpoint of like editing stand-up clips, which is very easy now, but like I was doing it even before, this isn't that long ago, but before Premiere made it easy to like automatically transcribe stuff, but it was that was stuff I've been doing, I mean, since like high school, like knowing how to edit that stuff. And so learning that other people were like having issues with it, I was like, oh right, this isn't like a thing everyone like learned how to do. In the same way, like you can't just learn Photoshop. It's like, I would say Premiere is actually probably easier, but it is one of those things where I was like, right, this is a thing that, you know, people need to learn.
Well, you also forget eventually, like it's kind of like you don't remember how difficult it was taking your first steps.
Yes.
Because you've walked for so long.
And there is no stakes to it, you know? It's like when you're just learning as like a kid, it doesn't matter. You're just experimenting and trying things out.
Yeah, you're like throwing shit up on YouTube. It's like, who cares? 10 people saw it. And now, like, I mean, it kind of is still like that, but like as an adult, you're like, oh, I'm representing myself. If this joke bombs on Instagram, it's going to look so bad. It's like, no one gives a shit.
No, they don't. And I do think also part of it, though, the difference is that now it's connected to ostensibly what you want your career in life to be. And so you want to put a good first step forward, but also so much of it is just having shit out there, you know?
Yeah.
Like quantity-wise.
You could also just clean it up. Like imagine like you just keep putting stuff out there and at some point,
and then
like,
I've done that, and I've never once gone viral or had anyone interested in me, but I was like, oh, I don't know if I want this joke still up there, let me just take it down.
Yeah, but also going viral doesn't. I know a guy and he like puts out like a clip every single day, and he's been doing it for like the last 2 years, and like one clip got like millions of views. And he still got 1,500 followers. Who cares? The whole viral thing, I think it's that might be like a thing of the past. I think you got to do like multiple times now.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. And also then, I mean, it's what we were describing too, is what's the end goal of, do you want to just then be a guy who puts out those kinds of clips all the time? Is that your, you know, main hustle and job? Like, if the clips are just stand-up clips, then okay, I can maybe understand that, because then that would require me to just go out and do stand-up, and that's fine and fun. But if it's other stuff too, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to do the front-facing, like, let's get ready together, fucking, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that eventually becomes the thing you do, and like the stand-up is like the like little side action that you get because like somebody like throws you up in a show.
Right, and then that's not even what I want to do anymore. So it is kind of learning to balance that, and also kind of knowing for yourself like where you want it to end up.
Yeah, and also if you do have a job, it is a crazy thing to balance, because like you have so many hours in a day, and it's like imagine like all your free time is now going towards like promoting an Instagram instead of like going to open mics.
Yeah, and I mean it is a full-time job. I've known people who have had relatively successful just like brand Instagrams and stuff, and so much of it is like, well, you know, you have to engage with other accounts and just be on it all the time, and like that's how you like cross promote and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like I don't like going on it when I'm not promoting something and just watching stuff. Like that sounds horrible.
You feel like a loser creeping on somebody else when you're on Instagram. I had the most insane like high thing that I did like 2 days ago. I saw this girl on like a field, like the dating profile, and then like she put her Instagram on it, which I'm like, in my sober mind, I'm like, I shouldn't go there, but in my high mind, I'm like, oh, let's check it out. And then I realized that she lives in this neighborhood, and my first initial thought was like, hey, I have a comedy show on Friday. You want to come?
Yeah, that's very funny. Did you send that?
Yes.
Did you get a response?
No.
Okay. That's probably
but now I'm following this girl. I'm like, who is this person? I'm like, oh shit! I high texted a random stranger.
Yeah. I mean, look, at the very least, it shows that you're a good promoter.
Yeah, always be selling.
Always be selling. I've done that. I've like been like blackout drunk and woken up with like texting someone. I'm like, who is this? And I was like, well, it's not like a dick pic. It's me sending the link to my show next week. So
some people get so upset. They're like, oh, how dare you use me to promote your thing? It's like, all right, well, you're not invited anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, well, I just want people to come. I'm asking you to come, you know?
Yeah.
It's just trying to promote stuff.
I think it's a bit of a double standard because, like, some of the women will straight up promote their OnlyFans, and we're like, yeah, go, slay queen, hustle, like, make money. Like,
I mean, that's at least reasonable. On, like, on a dating app where you're advertising your body, then at least you can be like, yeah, you want more of this, here's your OnlyFans. If there was a dating app for comedians, which there shouldn't be, that would immediately turn into a suicide call. But if there was, then yeah, just broadcast your show. I guess that is what Instagram is to a certain extent.
Yeah, comedian dating app. Oof, that would be unpleasant. I don't even think I'd want to like fuck a comedian, let alone date a comedian.
Agreed. Because then also, no matter how it goes, you're the butt of their joke.
Yeah, and like people, yeah, I've seen multiple times where somebody like was either hooking up or like dating, and like the week after they break up, both of them are like telling their side of the story, and it's like they don't use a name, but like we all know who you're talking about.
That's the other problem is when you're in the same community, so to speak. You're like, well, we know you. We saw you two together last week.
Yeah,
like,
you don't want to shit where you eat.
Yeah.
Okay, so currently, do you think you're happy at this job?
Well, yeah. Well, you know, I mean, I work remotely. I've been working remotely. The hours were relatively flexible, and it gave me a lot of freedom to pursue what I wanted to in terms of like stand up, but then also when I wanted to film things or like do something like this, I was able to kind of step out and do it. There, you know, it at times was one of those things where I was like, I don't know how much of I'm actually impacting the success of any project and like how much material change I'm actually affecting. But I had other stuff I was doing, so I wasn't concerning myself too much with it. But then once you hear like, oh, this is going to shut down, you're like, could I have done more? And I'm like, I don't know, but maybe I could have. Maybe I could have spent all my time trying to focus on doing something with it. But
wow, the amount of guilt you have over something you probably didn't have an effect on.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's not even really guilt. It's more just like I wish I could continue to be at this job that allows me to do whatever I want.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
And then, but also, there is there such a thing where like the job that pays you that you does not ask too much of you, that also you can do forever? Like, I feel like those are too much to ask.
If it's like a family business,
sure. Like
they give you the job position. Everybody in the company's like, all right, we know this guy's gonna be dead weight, but like let's not rely on him at all, because like if he does anything, we're gonna have to fix it.
Right. And even then, it's like at that point, just have your parents give you money and subsidize your lifestyle, like rather than just pretend that you're.
Oh, that's true. But people need like a
structure.
Job.
Yeah.
Not even structure, but just like a thing so they don't feel like a piece of shit. There's so many people like in Brooklyn who are like, oh, I run a gallery. It's like the gallery loses money. Yeah. How are you paying rent?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, your parents are paying for everything, but like you have like this little play job.
Right, and I guess it also just convinces them that because at a certain point, like, you just can't go out and drink all the time or like party or something, because as much as you can enjoy that, there's also other stuff that needs to be done.
Yeah.
For other people, I mean, so then you're eventually going to be alone to doing that. But yeah, I mean, ultimately it's good to have something you're interested in, you know, like something you want to pursue, and if you have the space to do that, then that's good.
What was your worst job experience? Have you ever had something where like you were just like kind of fed up with it, and like you either being abused there or like it's just like paid like shit?
Worst? Well, I mean, I will say, I think my boss at this place was my direct boss was very nice, and I still like him. But in all of high school and college, I was a summer camp counselor. And my hours were very long. They were like, because I did the before and after, like the extended pickups, like the kids who had to be dropped off early. And
how old were you at this time?
I was 18 to 22. Mm-hmm. And so I would work there 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the oldest kid there was 13, maybe 12. 12 was probably the oldest kid there. So it was like 6 to 12. And I was just surrounded by these kids the whole day. And it's just kind of draining. And there was a lot of good kids, obviously, kind of a lot of nightmare kids. But it was also draining because then... and then I was also in charge of these. Where I was, there was this weird program where kids meaning like minors, like people in high school, they had, if they had some kind of like non-violent criminal offense, a way to like work it off was to the city or the state, the province, whatever, would send them to small businesses and they would subsidize their salary from the person. So it was like cheap labor for the small business, and then these kids could almost do like a community service type thing. But that meant that I was like in charge of criminals, and they were nice enough, they would listen, but also they were like, we don't give a fuck about doing this. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I why would you give a shit about any of this?
It's like a little preview for like these kids' lives. It's like, hey, right now you're doing like some menial labor for free, but in the future you're gonna be making license plates.
Yeah. In the future you can see these exact same kids throwing shit at you when you refuse to serve them in a McDonald's.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm just saying like it's gonna be prison, like slave labor.
Oh sure. Yeah.
Because like that. I there's a lot of companies. Apparently, like Victoria's Secret was one of them, where like they'll just like they'll subsidize it, so like prisoners will get like I don't know 70 cents an hour.
I mean, they get no money otherwise, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like they're like, do you want to do this or do you want to just like spend the next 30 years doing nothing?
Yeah.
Which is kind of a messed up thing. I mean, kind of. It's extremely messed up.
It's really messed up because also the money you can't use for anything, and it's not like that works as job experience when you get released from jail.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, oh, you worked for Victoria's Secret at Rikers Island? Like, I didn't know they had a location there.
It's funny because like those guys actually have like skilled labor experience, and they are seen like they kind of look down on. It's like, oh, you piece of shit. Whereas like somebody who like worked with like a computer and like their skills are kind of obsolete now, but they're like automated by AI, for example, like those people are like, oh, my resume is so big, so great.
Yeah. I mean, but as we're seeing too, is it's just neither of them will get a job,
Oh yeah, I mean there's levels to like why I think this podcast will be successful. There's like I'm gonna have an endless pool of people out of work.
Have you released any of this yet, or are you still just
I mean this episode 4 just got released.
Gotcha.
So we had a few, so like every single one of these post-its is an episode.
Oh nice. Okay, so that's part of it.
Yeah, we'll do it in the end. I'll explain it.
Cool.
But yeah, I've been putting it out slowly. There's a whole page dedicated to it on Instagram with something like 150 followers.
Cool.
I don't know, famous.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is kind of sad that like I'm identifying this as a need for like literally the person who's just like is out of work and has like nowhere to turn. Like, hey, like maybe I'll watch these guys who are out of work and they're kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a good time to be in this country. Probably a good time to be a comedian though.
Yeah, it's annoying. I keep meeting people who are like, hey, like, look, AI can't replace comedy. And I'm like, sure, but I still need to buy food and pay rent, Like, it's not, we're not there yet.
Yeah, and also, like, AI could replace, like, certain forms of entertainment. So, like, I think if comedy is, like, a portion of, like, online and, like, stuff, like social media, and, like, people are like, oh, I watched a stand-up clip. If you just, like, put a ton of like AI slop out there, and some of it's actually really good. Like if you see like AI generated videos of like I've seen like these mock-up like UFC fights, and it's like these people who would never like fight because like one is like a featherweight and the other one's like a heavyweight. It's like, let's see what would happen if we get this 260 pound like Cameroonian guy to fight this like 5 foot tall like Asian guy, and it's like he just like breaks him. And it's like you can't do that in the real world, but with AI you can.
Sure.
And don't get me started on the porn. That's gonna be I'm not gonna touch that. I feel like if porn is addictive, AI porn probably be the worst.
Oh, and you know what is gonna take it to a whole other level is when like the VR, like the Oculuses, become so much more widespread. I never did that, but I did have a friend who had an Oculus, and he watched the POV porn on it, and he like did it for literally a day, but like a full, and then like never touched it again because he realized how crazy it was.
It is extremely addictive. No worries.
Yeah, but and the AI thing, like I'm assuming I know what it is, but like also at a certain point, you'll just be able to upload like pictures of people you're into, and then you'll be able to just watch porn of them.
Deep
right?
fake, yeah.
Right, deep faking them.
Oh, that is creepy. So it's gonna be like next level like masturbation, where it's like oh yeah, probably the creepy guy in accounting at work is jerking off to you, but now he's like got like a VR headset, and he like it could probably like recreate like what your tits look like pretty accurately.
I mean, at that point, that's when I think then, you know, all of this is over, you know, because why would you ever not do that? Why wouldn't you just wear that and like your office crush just fuck them for all of time until you die of dehydration? Like there's no reason. There's no incentive to do anything else.
It's like Ender's Game.
Yep.
Wait, no, not Ender's Game. Ready Player One. That's the one.
Oh, I like Ender's Game.
Ender's Game is great too.
Yeah, he. Oh, well, I guess that isn't VR. Well, it's technically VR, but then it's not at the end.
I think he fights this whole war.
He fights a whole war that he thinks is a game, but then he blows up a planet, and they're like, "That was real the whole time."
Yeah, we didn't want to psych you out.
We didn't want to tell you. Insane.
That's the greatest switcheroo ever.
Yeah.
It's like, this is just like a little simulation. He's like, did I just destroy an entire species?
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, but that's what we wanted you to do anyways. And you're like, dude.
Yeah, I actually do have an Oculus headset. The VR porn is bad enough where I'm like, oh, I can see where like it's not as good as reality, but it's close enough where I'm like, if somebody has never had sex, if they watch VR porn, they're kind of fucked, because like once they start having sex, they're like, oh, this is like not as good at all.
No, because it's a real person. Yeah. And it's a sensation that I guess you would also like. I don't know. I know a lot of people who have. It took them a while because of like the way they masturbated, like physically. It to some extent kind of fucked up the sensation receptors on their penis, and so like it took them a while to figure out how to actually enjoy having sex because of the way they did it. And like if that's just what happens to you, then you're like, yeah, why would I keep trying with this, especially when it took so long, you know?
Yeah, I think that's why we have like this whole epidemic of like erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, 100%. There's no, of course, you know.
Good time to work in Blue Chew.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure you'll get their sponsorship soon enough, right?
That's what I'm actually thinking. Like, would I ever draw a line of like what I promote on this podcast, or am I just like?
Are you against Blue Chew? Or those types of medications?
I'm not against it, but I feel like there's an overall problem we're not addressing.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, I think the issue is like, and like guys out there who using Blue Chew, I mean, like, do what you gotta do to satisfy a partner, but like, I think it's like it's a double-edged sword. I think the way they promote it is not only is like your dick not as hard as it should be because like you're like just like bombarded with so much amazing porn. I think it's also like, well, if you don't fuck this girl well enough, she's not going to be into you because other guys will.
Right. It becomes like an arms race.
A dick race.
Yeah, a dick's race. Yeah. A third arms race.
It's like in baseball. It's like everybody's on steroids.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to do steroids, well, you're in the minor leagues.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also just the general framework of positioning sex as like an athletic event, you know, as solely a sport to be won or to be the best at, rather than like something you can mutually enjoy with your partner.
That's true. I guess it's also another way of looking at it is like our like social relations got so like bad that like we're like, well, if I fuck him hard enough, I can make this relationship work.
Yeah.
So maybe it's that. Maybe people don't understand intimacy anymore.
Sure. It's just a fundamental lack of understanding of how to talk to someone, and like that's why I think all the like men's rights guys have like popped off, is they were able to like they're the way they like position their like content is as we're like gamifying human interaction, and like it's all magical thinking, right? Like there's no secret steps to getting someone to like you, but like everyone thinks it's like, instead of like learning actually how to do that and treating it like a, for lack of a better word, a craft or something they can try to like master, or like try to like just enjoy and learn and experience, they have to be like, well, what's the cheat codes to getting everyone to be in love with me?
Yeah, well, you're learning game, which will work in the short term. It's like, how do I trick this person into thinking that I'm like this amazing guy who's gonna be like a provider, like a great lover, and like treat them well, and then like, how do I fuck them as soon as possible before they realize I'm actually lying?
Right, sure. Yeah, exactly. You're treating it like a game, because then it's like, all I want to do is bust in you as soon as I possibly can, and then who cares? Which also, I probably won't even like that, because I don't even know how to treat this as a way that'll be enjoyable for me, let alone her, you know?
Yeah, the racking up of numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name names. Some guys having a party for like fucking 70 girls.
This is someone you know?
Someone we know. He's a comedian.
Okay, well, tell me afterwards.
Yeah.
But that's insane.
It's just like body count party. I was like, dude, come on. It's like, maybe you should do like a little survey of like how many of them actually enjoyed it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but just there are people I know who have like on their notes on their phone, like the list of everyone they've ever slept with. And, like,
I have that.
Yeah.
I only have that before, like, because I'm paranoid about forgetting someone.
Sure.
And I'll feel like bad. It's like, oh, I can't even remember her name. I didn't want to be that guy.
Right.
But now it's like this weird like little list, and I'm like, is this kind of like psycho?
Right. Just like a list of random. Do you have like a title on it of what it is, or you just know what the name is?
I have like little mnemonic devices. It's like so and so Korean from Jersey City.
Right. Okay.
So kind of like jog my memory.
Yeah.
But it's not like nothing crazy. It's just like, oh, her tits were this size.
Oh, you have information with them as well. It's not just their names.
Just the name and like what the little thing that I remember them as. Like my very first...
it's like a draft combine. It's like their stats, like how long you lasted.
No, it's not like that.
Their
like
dash was.
No, it'll be like one word. Like my first girlfriend, I had her saved in my phone as Kate Marathon, because she ran marathons.
And her name was Kate, or?
Oh yeah, her name was Kate.
Okay,
I probably shouldn't say that.
Nah, you can cut it out. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like,
sure.
If someone sees it, who cares? I'm not gonna say her last name or anything like that. But yeah, it's like I have this weird, like, I guess it probably is like autism adjacent thought of like, if I have sex with somebody and I forget them, then like I'm like an asshole who's just like using people, and it's like I don't even care about them.
Right. And so writing it down. I mean, I guess on some level it's not like if you just had like a list of, let's say, relationships, it's not that weird, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just a list of people you're...
How far can you take it? Like a list of like every woman you've interacted with?
Yeah. I mean, and at a certain point, because you know what it is? It shows what you put the most pride in. And you're like, well, if it's just talking to a girl, then I need to codify this immediately, because this is insane that it happened, you know?
5 minutes and 30 seconds, new record.
Without me pissing myself.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we are, as the kids would say, we as a society are a little bit cooked.
Yeah. But you know what? We'll all die soon, and I'm glad I'm young.
All right, we're coming up at time, because I know you gotta go. But
yes,
I have one final question I ask. Please. And also like the post-it. So the final question I ask is, if you could have a time machine and travel back in time to when you were in high school, would you do anything differently, either career-wise or life-wise, that you think would like help you?
If when I was like graduating high school?
In high school, during high school.
I mean, I wanted all the same things I want now. I think really what it is I mean, work harder for sure, and I guess just be more clear in the ways you want the things that you want. Like the way I would approach things, the way I would approach doing specific things in school, in college, would be different. But the problem with this is like, it's all stuff that I know now, having failed at it, and in retrospect being like, oh, I should have done that. But I guess the question is like, what would I do differently? Is I would have done all the things I knew I should have done differently now, having not done them, you know?
Would you have pursued any kind of different discipline that you didn't think you care for in high school?
No, I've wanted to do this since I was like 3.5.
Stand-up?
Yeah. My earliest memory is like telling jokes in front of my preschool class.
Are you the youngest in your family?
No, oldest. Well, I have like one younger brother, but yeah.
Interesting. What do you think is that drive that made you want to be like the funny guy?
I mean, you get to be the center of attention. And I don't think I am naturally interesting. People don't, but like being funny / charismatic / whatever, that is also, no matter how much of an artifice it is and how much of a put on it is very alluring, because it's exactly like those guys who are like, you can learn game and get people to talk to you. But for me, it's not sex. It's just people being interested in me.
Liking
me, yeah, I guess. And just like, and thinking of me as like cool and worthwhile. And I think I also do really care about comedy as like a craft, and like I want to make something good, I mean,
at 3.5 years old, if that's a desire you have, I can tell your parents did not like spend enough time with you.
Probably not. This was in preschool,
Yeah.
Once my brother came along, they were like more like I think present, but I don't want to even put it on them. I think I was just like weird in certain ways.
I just don't think like immigrant fat parents like do the whole American thing of like, oh, we need like to coddle this child, spend so much time with them. So I think it's normal. I think it's just like what the drastic shift of like going from like a place where like, yeah, you're like a kid, like I made you survive until 4 years old, now you're on your own, to go into America where like you see all your friends getting like really like their parents spending a lot of time with them, like you see them like go to practice. That like never computed with it, because I would go like do sports and like the parents would come there and watch their kids practice, and I'm like, don't you have anything better to do?
Right. But, and I do think now, looking back on it, as someone who like kind of wants to be left alone, I'm like, no, that was good. Like, I'm glad you weren't, trying to impose yourself on everything. But it depends on the person, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think,
and I liked it as well. But then but now I'm thinking like, is the complete lack of like interest in your child's life something that drives into like a career or like a path in life where they're trying to gain that that attention back?
That's fair, but it's also like, you look at people who are pursuing things like, I don't know, finance on Wall Street or something, and it's because they have been instilled from their parents or from their situation for whatever that money is the most important thing in the world and they have to do that, or like stability or whatever. And you can put your own spin on how valuable, like objectively, any of those qualities are, but at a certain point you want what you want, and you know why that is up for debate, but then all you can really do is try as hard as you can to get it, right?
That's true. Yeah. Like there comes a point where you're like, I have my past trauma, but like I can't blame everything on the thing that happened to me.
Yeah.
It's like, I grew up poor, but now you have all these possibilities. Stop like blaming everything. Okay, and the way we finish the podcast is I ask for what is it called? How would you help our unemployed audience? Like, imagine you could give any advice to yourself if you're unemployed, or someone else who's unemployed, or someone who just kind of hates their job. How would you in a succinct way, how would you improve that situation? What's like a good advice? And I'll actually use that to name the episode. So it could be anything specific, or it could be anything fun. It could be funny if you want. I had one guy say sell crack.
Well, sell crack. Okay, so here could be specific. If you go to certain bars or restaurants or something, you can learn how to be. It's a tough job, but you can learn how to be a server or a bartender. And the nice thing about them is that they will pay under the table. So get part-time shifts there, file for full unemployment, so now you're making enough money to hopefully sustain yourself, and ideally will have some free time, because you can take like part-time shifts at whatever service position you have, and then figure out exactly what it is that you want and try your hardest to meet people who are doing what you want, and then get as close as you can there.
So if I were to summarize that in one succinct sentence, it'd be work for cash. And could you just write that on your post?
Work for cash, yes.
And sign at the bottom, so when it's a twisty. Ooh, there you go. Fancy. So by the time you're famous, I'm going to have a little post-it note with your signature, and it'll be awesome. You can put it anywhere. Here, I think this whole row is open. And one last thing, this is going to not come out for months. I'll take care of it. Oh, you got it on the side?
I got it on the side, yeah.
That's all right. Thinking outside the box. And one last thing is, do you have any plugs? This is gonna come out way in the future, so probably like sometime in July, maybe even August, because I'm about to release episode 5. This will be like episode like 14.
Oh, okay. So July 2nd. I don't know if this will be there, but probably not. Well, July 2nd, I'm premiering my one-man show in New York at Ernie O'Malley's in Gramercy.
Oh shit.
August, I don't really know if I have anything going on because I'll be kind of traveling a bit.
Will you post about it on your Instagram?
I will post it about my Instagram.
Right, so follow Aditya on his Instagram, which is, I'm actually gonna look it up.
Yes, it's ADITYA.OBEDIAH.
If you spell Aditya, and I'll plug the link in the description on the YouTube. But yeah, it's Aditya, ADITYA.Obadiah.
That's correct.
What is Obadiah?
I did not make this account. My friends in college did, and they went to a rhyming dictionary and looked up what rhymed with my first name, and that just came up. And so then that was the name that they chose. And then I was like, can I actually have this? Because I don't want people thinking that I have an account with my name.
Your friends make you an account?
Yeah, because I really didn't want one, and they were like, you need to have one. And I was like, all right.
You're so you're so anti-social media.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. It's been Aditya Mayya, and let's get fired. I'm your host, Alex Shklar. We'll see you next time, and file your unemployment every Sunday. Don't forget.
You're fired!